All righty, we are now live. Hey, everybody, welcome to Coffee with Regina. I have my friend, my good friend, Wendy Weber back with her ukulele with her as well. She is the Songbird. Glad to have you here, Wendy.
Thank you. Thank you. Oh, it's always a pleasure to be with you and wherever you are and wherever we can be together. It's always wonderful.
All righty. So let me tell everybody a little bit about you before we get started here. So Wendy is a dynamic healing practitioner and the creative force behind Wendy Weber Music. She is totally amazing. She has a unique blend of talents as a singer-songwriter and lyricist. And with them, she specializes in crafting personalized custom songs that help businesses stand out, we're all about that, and connect with their audience on an emotional level. Isn't that what it's all about, right? And so Wendy's got a whole bunch of stuff here. So I'm actually going to ask Wendy and put her on the spot and say, so Wendy, whenever we are on our easy way calls and stuff like that, you have a little jingle that you open up with to tell people who you are. You want to play
it? I guess I could. Is that okay with you, Lucky? That's Lucky Sunconyer. He's my backup singer. If you want to understand him, you have to learn chirp. See? Well, I write the songs that make your message sing for your occasion or your business thing. Taking your story and making it rhyme so people remember who you better each time.
And that, in a nutshell, is what Wendy does, and she's absolutely fabulous at it. I am so happy to have you back again.
It's a delight to be here. It's a little bit later for me this time because the time hasn't changed yet. That's why it shows this week instead of next week.
There you go. So, Wendy, when we talk about what you do and creating those songs, we're all about being unique, differentiating yourself and standing out around here. And I can't think of a better way to differentiate yourself and stand out than having your own custom brand song.
Yeah.
So tell me a little bit about what is the process that you use when you. So if I said to you, "Hey Wendy, I'm looking for a song," what's the process that you use to go? Okay, let me come up with something.
Lucky, you want to take this? I have a questionnaire to fill out. I have a little bit different one for business than I do for, say, couples for an occasion. But I need to know what you want to say. I may do some research on the company. I may try out a product depending on what it is. For an occasion, I really have to have you fill it out. Mm-hmm. What is it? What is the essence of your company? What makes, if you're an employer, what inspires you, but also what inspires the people who work for you, your employees? What makes them tick? What attracts your customers? What do you want to have them be attracted to? So it really depends, and every business is different. Now, I haven't done a lot for businesses recently. I did a lot in-house for my company that I worked for. It was a financial company. And I was asked to do parodies, and we had a choir. And I was asked to do some other things, but I also we had, everybody does United Way every year. The big companies do. And we always had a talent show kickoff. And I always did something that was pertinent to the company, to mm-hmm. United Way, or to the theme of United Way.
Okay.
So everybody else did covers. Well, that to me is boring. Anybody can do that. People can't do what I do. Most people can't do what I do. So the idea is to make people feel something. We don't want them to feel revulsion. We want them to feel emotionally connected and happy. See, like him. And that's the idea. It's different for every project. It's the process is basically the same, but how do I then arrive at lyrics and music? Well, the lyrics have to come from what you want to say, but the music is a little bit more difficult depending on how inspired I am.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of musicians will say, and I'm one of them, that the music goes through me. We don't know where it comes from. Now, sometimes we do. I have a few songs where I know what sparked it, but why does that music blend with the lyrics, blend with the message? I don't know where that comes from. Some of it just, there it is. And some of it I have to work at.
So you're an intuitive songwriter because it comes to you.
A lot of the time.
Okay.
Not all the time. Sometimes I have to work at it. I was working on a song for somebody's event. There was a gala for a group I belonged to, but I didn't get the information in time, so I gave them my proposal and some scratch recording. But you know how I found the tune that needs to be and the way it needs to be done? I was watching an old Western and the beginning credits. And I said, that's it. Now, if I copied it exactly, nobody knows. This is an old obscure movie. But I don't have to do that because I can change any song into anything else if I want to. And there's nobody in the world would produce this song. So I go and have an engineer help me actually record it. I don't have a real good setup for that here. But nobody, even if they took the words, could produce it better than I can, because I have that. I know when something's right.
Mm-hmm.
If you look at the interviews by people who write the songs, the groups, they know when something is right. Some of the producers who they may not know a lick of music or they can't play it, but they know when something's right. It's something that I inherited or I grew or who knows. But
again, it's very intuitive.
Yeah, a lot of it is. A lot of it is. Yeah, I just don't know where it comes from, but it's fun, and it's, talking about being in flow.
Mm-hmm.
I'm working on a song. That's the most in flow I ever am. That's the happiest I am, even if I'm working really hard. I'm just really happy doing that.
In your bio, you go into your energy healing pieces as well. And so I'm putting together 2 and 2 in my head going, well, you're an energy healer, so you are intuitive. He just flew off. I don't know where he went.
There he is. I just wanted to see where he was. Too,
He wouldn't be happy in my house right now because my cat right now is sitting on my lap.
Well, we all have our comfort animals, our support critters.
Yeah, our support and spirit animals, right? So when I think about you doing your energy healing and the fact that intuitively, you said like the music comes to you, that makes perfect sense to me from what I know about you, because that is a completely unique element. You're absolutely right. Nobody could create the types of thing that you create because they don't have that mix of that combination of that energy healing and that music, and it's intuitive, and and you have your spirit animals behind you there. You have Lucky there egging you on and helping you along.
He's my director.
He's your director.
He does my quaff,
Does he come over he comes over and sits on your head too, right?
Yeah, but he's a little intimidated by the bigger ukuleles, so he's not over.
Now, just out of curiosity, how many different instruments do you play?
Well, I play ukuleles, and I play keyboard, and I have an auto harp. I tried guitar.
Auto harp.
Auto harp. That's it's got all the strings, and you press the buttons that dampen certain ones, so you have chords. So you have
Very
to
cool.
understand chords. So the first thing I learned when I was playing piano were the scales and the chords. And I'm somebody's going to play the keyboard. And so my first piano teacher made me learn that, but I have an ear for the chords so I can play by ear.
Mm-hmm.
I figure out chords so I can compose on the keyboard, or I can compose on the ukulele, because I hear the chords, and then
Mm-hmm.
there we go. And then we branched out. I lucky
Hi,
branched
Lucky.
um, I branched out into creating my own songs eventually.
Mm-hmm.
I can write music, but it is laborious for me. So they have these great programs, but I don't bother with that. I just record what I have, and I put the chords over them, over
Mm-hmm.
the words. So when I send it to the engineer, he's got a recording of the song plus the chords I want to use. The last song I did, he had a drum track.
Mm-hmm.
I hired a guitarist, and I did the chords, the piano chords myself.
Okay.
So I was really involved, and then of course I sang it. That was for an anniversary song I wrote for somebody last year, 35th wedding anniversary. That actually is a song that is very indicative of what I can do, because when they filled out the questionnaire, they had all these things they wanted in it.
Mm-hmm.
Like a love story about how they met, and then about their son and their church, and the loss they had in their lives, all this stuff. They were shocked I got everything in it. And I had no doubt. But the thing that I'm really proud of, aside from the lyrics, which some was funny and some was poignant, was the melody I came up with captured their love story, because they really got together dancing. They're both tall and they fit. So
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it would be, if I were dancing with her husband, it would be Mutt and Jeff, you know. Excuse me. So it was, we're dancing through life together to music uniquely our own. And the melody and the words fit.
Mm-hmm.
And I sang it live because it was local. And everybody came up to me, all of the audience. I didn't know that. Everybody had different ways of getting to know these people. And that was wonderful because it made them feel something. They were brought into their lives.
Mm.
And this is some of them are part of it, but this is an heirloom song for their son.
Sure. Sure.
And say, this is who your grandparents were.
Mm-hmm.
And they can send it around under videos, the slides put together for their occasion. That is something special.
Yeah,
And
that's amazing. And I mean, when you think about that, how you can do that, so you can do that for personal stuff, and
yeah,
then from the business aspect, I'm thinking the same thing. Is that,
yeah,
some businesses are looking for, a business jingle, just something short but memorable. I mean, even people who do podcasts. I mean, I call
yes,
this a live stream, not a podcast, because I don't have an intro and an outro, and that to me, that's one of the defining podcast things. However, my podcast people disagree with me, but I say I don't have an intro or an outro, so it's not officially a podcast. But I thought about that at one point, and actually that was my first thought, was what music will I use for that intro and outro, because I wouldn't want to use something that everybody else is using. I'd want something uniquely mine. So I'm guessing that's something that you could create.
that's the point. And I put that in my list of things that I do. I do intros and outros. Now I'm working on one for me. It's a little bit harder. What I have to decide what I'm going to target, because jingles are really hard. I haven't done a lot of those. Excuse me, it's early for me. The jingle, generally, people who do jingles test, and that's too techie for me. I'm not going to test. However, you have to decide for a jingle, what is the important thing for them to know.
Mm.
With a longer song, I prefer longer songs because I have more time to fill that out. Now, I also do something called short and sweet songs. So I still have more time than a jingle, but a short and sweet song would be more like something for an intro, outro.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe somebody who suggested, Brenda Marie Sheldrake or somebody suggested music for your waiting room. That would be
Oh,
it. So I was thinking that a package could be 15 seconds, 30 seconds, and a minute.
yeah.
And your intro, outro, well, the music that people use. You ever go to these summits
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
and you
Way back
say,
to one.
it's the same music. They all do these things. And most of that music I don't like. If it were my brothers, I'd put in classical. That's what I listen to. And that's what he listens to. So he's a very, very cultured conure. That's what I can stand to listen to. But I grew up with classical. I grew up with musicals, the old musicals. I grew up with the folk songs, 60s, 70s. I grew up with some of the old time rock and roll. I just saw Jersey Boys last week. I shocked myself. I knew most of those songs.
I bet you did.
I was
I
really
know them too.
but I'm not doing what people are doing today.
Mhm.
I wouldn't be a good songwriter for the contemporaries. A lot of the songs you hear it sounds like AI to me.
Mhm.
The beat is the same. The speed is the same. There's I don't hear any waltzes. You hear don't know 3/4s. You hear 4/4s or 2/4s. It's all the same. The drums are the same. It's boring. If you listen to my CD, which I'm working to get the rest of it on SoundCloud and figure out how to do that. That's techie stuff again. But all the songs are different genres. Now, do I repeat a type of genre? Yeah, but the tunes are all different. The speed a little different. If you have I can't listen to a whole program of jazz. I can't listen to a whole program of just about anything
Right.
because it bores me. I'm going to walk out if I can. But you difference. That's what's fun about doing songs. It's different. I'm not boring myself to leave the business. It's fun, but people, what do you think? Do you think all the songs that the sound alike that people listen to that they play in like my physical therapy and all kinds of different places? Do people like that because they're anesthetized by them?
So do you remember back in the I'm going to call it the old day elevators when the
Yeah,
music was on and it all sounded the same and
yeah.
that is it does sound the same. And I just happened to come from an AI summit this past weekend I was at,
Mm.
and one of the tools that we were looking at was an AI music tool.
Suno?
Suno, yep. And so we were playing with Suno, and Suno was really cool. However, there's things that Suno can't do. So Suno made some really cool stuff. It was a lot of fun stuff.
I've played
It
with it.
can't, yeah, it can't inject that human element in it and that human emotion in it. So there was a bunch of us trying to play with it and trying to make it do that. And
Mhm.
still it's AI. It's not, it is not a human being. And so there is a missing element
Yeah.
when you use that. Is it cool? Yeah, it's cool. It's catchy. They have some catchy stuff and come up with some great stuff. That's fine. But what is the purpose? If the purpose is for entertainment, great. If the purpose is for something memorable, for like that anniversary party, or you really want your business to stand out, and you're looking to do like a 30-second commercial with, and you have this music behind it that is uniquely yours, that's where they need somebody like you to come in and create something very unique, very differentiating, and really make you stand out from everybody else who's using all of this, machine generated music.
And with Suno, you don't have enough of a space to give the kind of a prompt that you want.
Mm-hmm.
Because I have played with it. Now, sometimes this is similar to chat. You can have it come out with some lyric ideas.
Mm-hmm.
And I rarely leave it as is. Sometimes it's okay. If you want to write for poetry, and it will tell you You have to inject the humanity, the emotion, because it knows it doesn't, it can't.
Right.
So if you want what I say, you've heard me do this. If you want ordinary, talk to another songwriter or use AI. If you want extraordinary, talk to me. I'm the Songbird lady. And it's not boasting, is fact.
Mm-hmm.
So, if you want to use these other things, you're not my client.
And I'm here to tell everybody that she's not boasting. She is. It is fact. I know what she does. I know how she does it, and it's amazing. And like I said, it's that emotion, the human element, because the bottom line is, especially for businesses,
Yeah.
people buy based on emotion. They don't buy because they just want something. You don't buy a screwdriver because you want a screwdriver. You buy a screwdriver because there's something that you're fixing. You have a screw
Yeah.
that you need to screw into the wall. It's like it's that result. It's a, well, why do you want to screw that thing in? You don't buy it because you have to screw the screw in. They buy it because it's solving an emotional thing. It's solving the, hey, my wall's not going to fall on me because I bought the screwdriver to screw in that screw, so my wall's not falling on me. So now I have peace of mind that I can sit in my living room and the picture's not going to fall off the wall or whatever. You buy based on emotion. And same thing when you have a song and you can pull out, you can drag out that emotional piece.
Yeah.
That's huge. And no, AI cannot do that.
Well, you can, excuse me, you can do that with parodies too. I cut my teeth on parodies. And at my company, when I was there, I did a lot of parodies. They're fun. They're easier. I don't have to come up with the melody. But I did a song to the song Rawhide from the Western, rolling, 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 up and down there, rolling. Well, I did that to, this is a financial company, to the market. And I mean, everything fit. 5 years later, somebody I didn't know stopped me. We're walking between buildings. We had a campus. And he said, I still remember that song you did to Rawhide. Now, he probably doesn't remember what the words were, but it grabbed him. Mm-hmm. So with a judicious parody, and I don't do a lot of them. I don't sell them because I'd have to go ask for permission. If I'm just doing it for fun, nobody really cares. I'm actually doing one. I lost my daughter who had Down syndrome. I lost her last June. And I'm working on a song, and I keep going back to it. I can't finish it. I can't do a lot at one time because I start crying. It's very raw. But I mean to look it up. But remember the song about the War of 1812 and 1814? We took a little trip along with Colonel Jackson down the mighty Mississippi. So I have to look that up, and I have the records buried somewhere. But I have to look up the group too who sang it. Mm-hmm. But this fits the last trip my daughter and I did.
Oh,
snorkeling and diving. We went to Raritan, Honduras to take a little dip, and then we didn't know Alzheimer's was a coming. So I cannot improve upon that song. So it has to be a parody. I know when something has to be a parody. I know when something has to be a song that I need to morph into something else. Keep the same beat, keep the same cadence. Cadence. People don't understand or think about cadence. It's hugely important to a song.
So I know what cadence is, but explain just for people so they understand what cadence is.
I haven't looked up the definition of cadence, but to me, cadence means the speed, the beat, the feeling that comes from that. Mm-hmm. Yep. That's what AI cannot do. It doesn't do that. It doesn't understand it because it doesn't feel. You want a songwriter who can feel. And that makes a difference. So the song I'm writing about my parrot who died, that is an original tune. The song I wrote a song for, so I write songs for charities, and I wrote a song for the Oasis Sanctuary, which is a parrot sanctuary outside of Benson, which is south of Tucson, Arizona. And that's the last place for a lot of the parrots. They take rescues. They've taken them from the earthquakes and Katrina and abused parrots that have been in cages too small and just treated terribly.
Hmm.
And I was trying to write this song and I couldn't get the tune. And eventually I wrote a song for Veterans Day. And I was thinking of my dad, who was a veteran of World War II. And I wrote this song and this tune came to me. Well, it was a tune I was trying to work with. I finally realized that. And another tune came to me for this song to sing at their annual event. And of course, in the middle, when you say we're cheering, the volunteers are really important. And, you do hip, hip, hooray. Well, I did. I said, everybody's going to chime in. We're going to do hip, hip, and then your favorite bird call. And everybody did that, and they were right on, and it was really amazing. Who would have thought of that? That's something. I'm crazy. I'm nuts. And I don't mind thinking outside the box. I don't mind looking silly or sounding silly or being silly. And
Right.
that ability to not mind what people think also makes a difference.
Yeah. And that makes things memorable.
Yeah.
It's people are going to remember that. And music is such a great way to remember things. I mean, I still know commercial jingles from the 70s. I can still sing those because, they had catchy jingles. And when you think about that, music really has a big impact on your brain because you can create something. And when you put those words together and you put them then to music, your brain remembers them better. So if you have a business or something like that and you create something for a business, I found myself, current commercials. Here's a funny one. A friend of mine on Facebook not too long ago, she posted and she says, apparently I'm watching too much TV. She goes, I was just out walking the dog and I found myself singing the song to Jardians.
Yeah.
That commercial. And I was like, yeah, but they're catchy tunes, right? And so
I remember ones from the 50s.
Yeah. So when you create something, it makes it memorable. It makes your brand more memorable so that you really, really stand out.
But I'd rather do a song that wasn't annoying. The song that made you happy and made you happy when you thought about this product.
Yeah.
Thought about this company. See, we're getting all kinds of agreement here.
Lucky agrees.
Yeah. He agrees.
So we're growing short on time. So if people wanted to connect with you to say, hey, you know what? I have no idea if I could use a jingle or a parody or a something, or, oh, hey, I have a big event coming up and wow, that's a really interesting idea to have a custom song made. Yeah. How would people find you to chat with you?
Well, they go through my secretary. You have to speak chirp. I'm on Easy Way. I'm on the Easy Way platform, but the easiest way really is to email me, Wendy at Wendy Weber. Remember, this is 1B at wendywebermusic.com. Wendy at wendywebermusic.com. I am on LinkedIn. I'm under Wendy Weber Music. It's YouTube. Well, I don't check my YouTube very often, but I do look at the LinkedIn. I'm on Facebook, Wendy.Weber. The banner there has to do with my energy healing. But it's all vibration. Everything.
So did I spell that right? It's Wendy at wendywebermusic.com. Did I get it right?
Yes.
Okay. I just want to make sure I have it correct.
Yeah, that is right. I just thought I had something else to say and I forgot, but it's really a joy to help people out, but it's also a joy to be paid. So I don't do things for free anymore. I did a lot for free. Not anymore. Mm-hmm. I'm better than that, and I'm as good as the best songwriters out there, or better. But I have a different clientele. I have individuals who they don't go to Nashville to get a songwriter. They have something else in mind. They have something else to do, and I don't care about a Grammy. I don't care about a label. That doesn't mean anything to me. But if I can create the emotion for you, for your memorial, the song I wrote about my mother when she was alive. Just think about edifying somebody when they're alive. When I sang it live with a group, we were in a group and edified her with this song. And later on, after she died, I sang it. I was talking about using songs to help you get through grief.
Mm-hmm.
And I sang this I was doing a demonstration about that. And later on, the host of that, and I still see him in meetings, said, told other people, when I heard this song, I knew who this woman was.
Oh.
Same thing with my daughter. I wrote a song 31 years ago for her bat mitzvah. It was very special if you have Down syndrome to have your own bat mitzvah, not being in a group. And it captured her essence. It held on to her essence even as we were losing her to Alzheimer's. It said who she was. And I sing it, and it's hard to get through it because I tend to cry, but that was different too. Most people do they have some remarks about their child after they've done the ritual work, or they write a poem. And I was writing a poem, and this tune wouldn't leave me alone. Melody. So I said, all right, your song. That's the first original professional quality song I ever wrote.
Wow.
And that's, so you can blame my daughter. That's how I got started. So it's also excuse me, how I got started in energy healing, because of something about her.
Mm-hmm.
So we don't always know where the inspiration comes from. In this case, I do. And I'm grateful that she was in my life, because what I did for her, and I speak on raising a child with Down syndrome. I'll be doing that on Voices of Women, International Women's Day, about raising a child with Down syndrome. And I have a checklist to remind people, because you can't do it by yourself, and you have to take care of there's things that you need to know. But what's the most important thing? They're a child first.
Mm-hmm.
They're a person. And it's just, you do other things that your typical children don't need to have done.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, you have such an amazing story and have come so far with your music and everything else. And we are out of time now. So I want to remind everybody, if you want to hook up with Wendy, there's her email right there. It is wendy@wendywebermusic.com. And I'm sure Wendy would be more than happy just to listen to, hey, I'm not even sure if I need something or if you can do something for me. I'm sure she'd be able to get you, and say, here's what I could do. Here's some ideas. Because when you think about business and life, it's about standing out, right? So you do that stuff for the folks who want the personal pieces. And in business, it's even more important to stand out, especially in these crowded industries that we all work in. And so I can't think of a better way to do it than with a unique, catchy song that is just customized directly for you. And so I find it awesome.
Put need a song in the title, in the subject.
What's that?
Right? Put need a song or just song in the subject, so that I usually will look at those quicker than the other stuff I get.
All right, awesome. So if you want to hook up with Wendy and just, hey, brainstorm some ideas, put need a song in the subject line and email it to wendy@wendywebermusic.com, because I have full 100% confidence that she can create exactly what you want, and it will sound like nobody else ever, because it will be that unique. So if you really want to start standing out in the crowd, this is the way to do it. Talk to Wendy. She's got you. Thank you so much for being here today, Wendy.
It is my pleasure. And I always like to say, wishing you a joyous melody in your heart and harmony in your life, and maybe a chirp on your head.
Do you have a closing song you want to finish up with, or?
Not really.
Okay. I figured you had the ukulele in your arm, so.
I'm working on it for my podcast, which is Wendy's Way, Music, Magic, and More. And I'm all over the place, so I'm not being a unicorn as far as particular subjects. We would talk about things that interest me, but But I'm perfect for the unicorn. I was looking for a unicorn hat to get. I don't think Lucky'd allow it.
I don't think so. He'd probably come over and knock it off your head.
He would.
All right.
Enjoy from me.
Thank you so much for being here. Lucky, thanks for joining us too. And we'll see you all next time on Coffee with Regina. Bye for now.